please subscribe to the channel. It helped me out so much in sharing this message of love and unity. I couldn't do it without my family, my Unitarian family of the human race, of free, sovereign people who take 100% responsibility for their lives and they don't leave it up to governments and politricians. Light and love to you, Spiritual Fitness Evolution family. This sword does not represent war or violence. No. This sword represents, my friends, slaying of the shadow and of your inner demons, and we will work together to slay the inner shadow and the inner demons of the collective consciousness. This is a heavy sword, so represents lifting up those heavy shadows and becoming strong through the spirit of love until this heavy sword or the heavy shadows feel as a feather and your hearts feel like a feather. Because we don't want to have a heavy heart now, do we? Of course not. 25 pounds, we're gonna keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Mind, body, spirit, stronger, faster, leaner. Oh, do you wanna see what you can do? Swinging a bigger sword. Right now you must hit the bell notification and subscribe. We're gonna get big. We're gonna get swole. We're gonna have fun. Spiritual Fitness Evolution, mind, body, spirit, rechilding and rewilding. Let the spirit guide thee through the unconditional heart space. Like and subscribe to the channel. I will be setting a Guinness World Record. Hey, BattleFit League. So this video, this main video that's very long by the way, was shot about a week and a half ago, but about a week ago was the one I'm going to show right after this. It sends a really positive message in one of the most beautiful places that I found in the new local area that I moved to. But yeah, I'm just out here right by this beautiful pine tree, and please like, subscribe, share this channel. And BattleFit League is now Spiritual Fitness Evolution. So if you guys get a chance to just listen to this whole thing, or just for the algorithm to help launch it into existence, just play it maybe when you're sleeping and set it by you as you fall asleep or something like that, you know, or just play it. Yeah, just play it while you're falling asleep, you know. But I'm so happy. I've been training recently with this 25-pound sword. For those that are new to the channel, it started at 17.5. Well, this sword started at 17.5. It's loaded with steel shot. I started with 5-pound katana, and Spiritual Fitness Evolution, we're going to get right into it, but we're going a week and a half ago. It was really rough for me. This last month was really rough. As you can see, I'm not using the weighted vest. I'm not pulling behind the 80-pound sled, 100-pound sled. I'm not using the 10, 20-pound ankle weights. And I'm not using that 60-pound weighted vest. Yeah, I've just been going through some heartache. And one of the things that I learned is your heart actually has 40,000 neurons which branch out into your body, which really affected me in my healing and my recovery. And that's in all ways of health and longevity. So anyway, love this channel. Like, subscribe. This is about Spiritual Fitness Evolution, evolving mentally, physically, spiritually. We're going to be getting into Qigong, pranayama, a lot more. I really want to learn Capoeira this year, but I got some new things coming up too, trying to land a job on the fish boats. Gonna make that money, go out there, be the fisherman on the boat. But yeah, thanks everybody, and give it a listen and share this with anybody that you know that's gone through this stuff that I'm about to talk about. And this is just me opening up, and we all go through stuff, and a huge part of Spiritual Fitness Evolution is learning self-love and being there for ourselves and building community. So check it out, everybody. Much love. Spiritual Fitness Evolution. Peace. Hey, this message is for you. This is for your family, and this is for the whole entire human collective. Peace, love, light, prosperity, and abundance, vitality for you and your seed, your future to come ancestors for all of eternity. And let's set and pray and come through our heart space to set aside time to get rid of this ignorance of war and division. And let's fight for love. Let's fight and cut through the darkness. And let's shine light upon our own shadows so that we can come into our heart space, because the heart space has 400,000 neurons which connect to the holistic health of the body. That's why Buddha and Jesus and Reiki practitioners, once they understand the heart space is the most important, we're able to heal ourselves. So I'm gonna swing this sword for everybody, and you know, we gotta stand up, we gotta do all we can. When we organize for peace and love as much as other people organize for war and division, almost everybody has a good heart and good intentions. So let's do this. So I've been gone for a while, and from talking, I've been going through a lot of darkness, but I'm healing, and I'm getting back into my strength, my scheduling, and I'm ready to manifest a business that helps to change the world, you know. Little fly buzzing around. And so this sword is gonna have on it painted a beautiful utopia on this side, like the Garden of Eden. There's gonna be a heart it's broken down the middle, like a lightning bolt. And on this side, it's gonna have a beautiful white, pinkish, light bursting side of the heart. On this side, it's gonna be a black heart with blood dripping. And then there's gonna be a war scene over here with people traumatized from war, and there's division of the human race. And then on this side is gonna have the chakras, and up here the 4 elements of earth. And the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra, is gonna be bigger, and then the 7th chakra is gonna be bigger as well. So yeah, hope everybody checks out my channel. It's gone from Battle Fit League to Spiritual Fitness Evolution, full functional training of the mind, body, spirit, and soul. And it really comes from centering in the heart space, connecting to the all of the all, loving the planet, and loving what gives us sustenance, which is the sun, the air, the trees, the soil, you know, and yeah, and the beautiful water that we need to take care of, because we're only hurting ourselves. And if we're not eating healthy and we're not connected with the planet, well, we're not going to feel happy, because our serotonin and dopamine isn't going to be created. So we got to get out there, we got to move around, we got to love nature, and we'll be healthy. So yeah, all right. And anybody that's considering to start a YouTube channel, I've had one before. It got banned, but I was talking about laying naked in the sun is my church. Nature, of course, you know, because of decency. But I was talking about the elements. Yeah. So this is not a symbol of war. This is a symbol of strength, of love, of peace, of prosperity, of interconnectedness. And it's really, this represents the heavy shadows of humanity, and I'm gonna lift those shadows up and see them, and I'm not gonna hide my head against my own shadows. I'm gonna see them, and I'm gonna rise above them. I'm gonna lift them up into the light until they dissipate. And that'll mean I'm gonna keep lifting this sword until I'm so strong that it feels like a feather. Right now it's 25 pounds. I'll probably keep adding weight into it, but yeah. So peace, love, and prosperity, and hope you guys check out my channel. The next one that I'm gonna be uploading here is gonna be really, really beautiful. It's really the core start of spiritual fitness evolution. It's so peaceful out here. It's been hard for me to find peace, but when I come out here, there's stillness. It's beautiful. Anyway, until next time, signing off. Light, love, peace, prosperity, ultimate vitality to you, your family, the Unitary Collective. Let's end this ignorance of war against ourselves, the species, and the planet. Let's take care of this beautiful, 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 nourishing earth that nourishes us. Hey, Spiritual Fitness Evolution. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here, to be in the spirit, the mind, body, and the spirit with me. Today and the last 3 weeks have been really hellfire for me. I've been dealing with a lot of spiritual downfalls. I've experienced a lot of darkness, a lot of heaviness on my heart, and to the point where I couldn't even go around people. Like, I had so much social anxiety. I just was afraid that I was just gonna mean mug everybody or be sorrowful everywhere that I went. And so the real change of this channel is going from Battle Fit League to Spiritual Fitness Evolution, because what we're doing is we are going to go within and cultivate our chi and our power. And the most powerful force in the universe is the heart and love and unconditional love. And that's proven now through HeartMath Institute, people like Bruce Lipton. The electromagnetic field that it's emitted from your heart space it's so healing to the nervous system. And a fully regulated nervous system is what gives you optimal health, vitality, and recovery. It's also what helps you to connect through others in a heart space. And the interconnectedness of the universe starts through the heart. You know, if we think that we're separate from each other, or we're divided, we're not going to find unity, and we're not going to be able to cooperate. And especially if we're not finding unity and cooperation with the earth, we're not going to be able to, you know, be at our best health and vitality. Because how many of us out there go to the grocery store or don't grow our own food, or don't really know if the food is genetically modified or not, or if we've evolved over the years to be able to digest that stuff. And so by having 100% love for ourselves, we then have 100% love for the planet. And if we're able to have unconditional love for all of humanity, we can finally stop wars and stop blowing stuff up and polluting stuff and causing trauma, ancestral trauma. Because people with ancestral trauma who are living in fear, because there's really only two emotions that are out there. There's fear and there's love. In the absence of love, it's not that great to be around those energies, or can pull things out of us if we're not having the best of days. So really, it's all about coming together through the heart space. My heart's been really heavy. You might be able to hear that. I may have lost my job. I got woken up for, like, I don't know, maybe the 100th time by security or police in my really nice vehicle that I choose to live holistically and under my means. And he just met me with hatred and anger, and I took that on, and it's poisoning me, and it makes me feel heavy. And I'm really going to try to come into the heart space right now by reading these words that I did through a meditation earlier. I've got this I got this from the Oregon County Fair. I actually gifted one of these to a lady. This is made out of buckskin, wood, and a feather. So sound healing medicine helps to, what I do is I focus on unconditional love, and I shake around me
That helps to loosen up the blocked energies. For those of you that have not subscribed to the channel yet, we do giant sword training. So I actually loaded this one up to 25 pounds. If you want to help spread the message of fighting for freedom, fighting for unconditional love, fighting to unite humanity as a collective, hit that bell notification. Share this with your loved ones, share this with your community, because share this with people that are struggling, people that have a hard, heavy heart. Like right now, I actually kind of have a hard, heavy heart right now. And it takes a lot of courage for me to come out here in public and do this. So yeah, so thank you so much. So I'm gonna break into the book and we'll go from there. So I've been writing things down, keeping track of my thoughts and my emotions so I can manifest things. So first off, with the giant sword training, I want to do a disclaimer for everybody. If the principles of freedom of my speech and truth mean anything to this platform, I'll be well received through this channeling, through all the viewers, with the unconditional heart space. If you can't hold a space of unconditional love for me and my perceptions from my experiences here on planet Earth, how can we be great friends? And how can we be a unified collective of unconditional love and awareness? And just saying that unconditional love and remembering the beauty that I felt in my heart when I wrote that really just brings peace and that feeling of unconditional love. I really feel that difference already just remembering when I was writing this down, what I was feeling when I was channeling my higher self. So disclaimer number 2, it is important to note that the universal truth that there are 2 primary emotions, and emotions is energy and motion. So love and fear. So I had some fear of being judged when I came out here because there's people around me. And what we have to do is we have to get rid of that fear of judgment, because that fear of judgment, when we're judging ourselves, when we don't fully accept ourselves and we care about what other people think about us. Because at the end of the day, we have to be in our truth to have unconditional love. And but to have unconditional love, we have to be in our truth and face our shadows and transmute those shadows with unconditional love. We can't hide our shadows because they'll come up. We have to face them and realize that if we don't address our shadows, our demons, that those energies will stay stuck in our body, and our vibe, our aura, our frequency will manifest the like. We are the masters of our own realities, our creation. Anytime I share my truth outside of the realm paradigm of reality of unconditional love for the all of the all, meaning if I'm not feeling unconditional love for the all of the all, I'm operating out of a place of anger or hurt, devastation, unempowerment, not feeling empowered, from years of trauma and pain that I'm still resolving, and transcending now into love through love and light through my sacred heart. And then over here I said unconditional love for myself, and that is good, and loving is the greatest currency of vitality, and the vibration of my thoughts, emotions, and environment has shaped me since sperm and egg danced together. So since the time that sperm and egg danced together, those emotions that were going around in the womb of our mothers were influencing our DNA, the epigenetics of our DNA, which we have complete control over by our thoughts, our environment, and where we choose to put our thoughts, our emotions, our energy and motion. So we are the alchemists of our reality. We are the manifestors of all that comes. And sometimes there is negative energy around us, and if we can't hold a space of tranquility and serenity and unconditional love, sometimes we will be drowned by those forces. But we can't blame those forces, because then we're taking away our own personal power. And if we're giving away our own personal power, we aren't truly going to be able to live in the highest frequency, which is enlightenment and unconditional love and co-creation and co-connection through the grand web, the weaving of all of us, because we're all connected. Everything that we do and say has a ripple effect energetically throughout the universe forever. So something to think about. Anyway, a little bit intense today. So disclaimer number 3, I am not a guru of anyone other than myself, as I take responsibility for my own darkness and the light and the vibrational frequencies that they emit through the fields of manifestation. I refuse to stop bearing my shadows of trauma, pain, suffering, fear, hurt, agony, despair, grief, powerlessness, guilt, insecurity, jealousy, hatred, blame, revenge, anger, discouragement, worry, doubt, disappoint, overwhelm, frustration, impatience, irritation, sarcasm, pessimism, boredom, and the depression of the panic breathing. And the depression of the pranic breathing channels in my life-giving temple. If you're panic breathing, not the panic breathing. We don't want to be panic breathing. We want to be pranic breathing. Deep, unconditional love, tranquil, serene breathing. And before I start the workout, I'm going to do that because I need to. I'm panic breathing a little bit today. I am here to grow spiritually and heal the darkest of my shadows by shining the light of unconditional love onto them until they dissipate. Onto my past, my traumas, my darkness, my demons. I must shine the light of love onto them until they dissipate so that I can go and heal this inner temple. And then I can start to attract the healing temples around me that are in the vibration of which I hold. And if I want to attract the right vibrations of what I hold, I must heal my temple. I must come through unconditional love so that I can attract more of the like. I realize, with real eyes, that these emotions, energy, emotion, create the savagery of my own demise and the loss of my vitality and life force energy. So those negative emotions create the savagery, the fight or flight mechanisms, the anger, the revenge, all those things are savage, and they keep me from the most unconditional love and the vitality. Because if you're not in your heart space, and you're gonna have early heart attack, you're gonna have a high blood pressure, and the system's not gonna work properly. There's some truth to Reiki healing and how Jesus healed. He healed through unconditional love. He taught the wretches, the worst of the worst, which were the 12 apostles. They gave up everything and walked with him. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Buddhist. I'm not a pagan. I'm not in any box. I don't put myself in any box or any paradigm, but I study all truths, and then I find my own truth through my own understanding. And what I found is there's truths in all paradigms of belief. So energies of motion create the savagery of my own demise and the loss of my vitality and life force energy. Love is the creative force on the planet that brings life when channeled consciously and often. I realize with real eyes that fighting and seeing other with real hearts, it's really what I need to focus on, is my heart. Because the heart is probably the biggest sense of perception that we're lacking here as a collective. The wisdom comes from within and without, or for better words, from outside of us. So we must first internalize our internal wisdom, and then we can start picking up on the wisdom of others. Because we are a small fraction of the planet. We are a small fraction. We are so small. Wind about blew over my, we're really so small. God damn it. Okay, I'm not gonna say the Lord's name in vain for the Christians. We're so small, so we have to also understand everything outside of us and how it interconnects. Our consciousness, we have a collective consciousness, and if we don't understand other people's consciousness, how can we understand the collective consciousness? I realize, with real eyes and a real heart of love and unconditional love, that fighting other points of view keeps me in the darkness to the collective reality. And wisdom comes from within and without, or for better words, from outside of us. Endless wars and fighting is a complete ignorance to the laws of cause and effect and the true vitality and healing empowerment of unconditional love. This sword right here is a tool for lifting up with strength our shadows, analyze them, giving them reasoning and understanding why they ultimately destroy us. There's a lot of weight in this sword. So it's a reminder of how the shadows weigh down our hearts and steal our vitality, steal our prana, steal our time on this earth. And that's proven once you start to study how those lower emotions actually rob from you the vitality. And once you come into the heart space, you'll feel the vitality supercharge your being. It is the representation of cultivating the self-sufficient, unconditional, loving warrior within and becoming a conduit of community building and regeneration of the collective humanity's sacred heart, and a regeneration of the planet, who gives us the life to live. The planet gives us the life to live. So if we do not honor the planet, and we are disconnected from the planet, and we go to the grocery store and we put all this stuff in our body, or we cover our shadows with alcohol, marijuana, pharmaceutical cartel medications, how can we truly heal our shadow if we don't feel the deepest darkestness of our shadow and then bring the light in to dissolve it? We don't need anything outside of us to stop feeling that way that we're feeling. Sobriety has been the most powerful thing. I've also felt the most intensity of emotions, even the lower emotions, and it scared the hell out of me. No, it scared the hell into me and the heaven out of me. But now I'm scaring the hell out of me and I'm bringing the heaven into me. Okay, I need to relax. I'm gonna take my shirt off because the sun is gonna heal me. I'm wearing this. I haven't been working out for three weeks. She's got a little man titty right there. Yeah, let me squirt some of that. Did you get that? I'm just playing. Okay. I gotta have unconditional love, you know. I haven't been loving myself because I wanted to stick to a goal. I wanted to become the best version of myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. I was in such a depression, my back started hurting. I was doing some parkour. I laid in bed for like 3 weeks. I researched a bunch of spiritual stuff, but I need to relax and be happy where I am. This is a beautiful vessel. I'm so happy to have it. If I don't have 100% unconditional love for who I see when I look in the mirror, then how can I have that for the rest of the planet? And the reason why I do care so much about my physical vessel is because it's where I really believe our strength has been lost, is through working with the planet, working through strength. We've become so sedimentary that we've just become globs of lethargy, and I think the seven deadly sins are gluttony. You know, if I'm eating all this food, because that's my biggest drug right now, is eating food. Most of it's all healthy, but I'm a constant emotional eater. And when I was doing my bulk, I was eating either from medium to 2 extra large organic pizzas a day, and it was crazy. But I really have a problem with self-love with my body. And I could do bodybuilding and look a lot better, a lot faster, but I'm gonna go with a full functional workout because looks and feeling is a lot different. I feel 100% better doing this workout on the barefoot ground, out in the sun, out in the elements, and getting all my stabilizer muscles. I feel stronger, faster, leaner. And if I'm just consistent, honestly, that's consistency. It wouldn't be any different, really, I guess, if I was in the gym. We have to love ourselves completely. We have to love our minds. We have to love the types of emotions that are going through our chemistry, our alchemy. And we have to love what our alchemy creates in our body, because if we have a strong mental and spiritual alchemy and we're active and we're moving around this heaven on earth and we're working with our hands and we're growing our own food and we're creating food forests and we're being minimal and we're creating small houses and we're cutting down our own trees, we're building our own log cabins, and we're pioneering human evolution of the human heart and the sacred heart of humanity, humanity, humans, humans. It's kind of it shows a shallowness towards the feminine creator, which we were all born through the womb wisdom of the waters of nurture, for the amount of the type of words that we use. We give so much power to the masculine. Perhaps that's why wars are endless. The fall of man has been upon us for years and years. It's time that we accept that the fall of man has always been upon us, and we just allow for the rise of Hugh-woman, or the divine connection of Hugh-man and Hugh-woman together, because to be honest, we need the two in unionship to have heaven on earth. It's really intense for me to talk about this stuff too, because I'm trying to exit out of a relationship that has really scarred me, and I've scarred her. It scarred both of us, and I love her so much. She's got such a good heart. She sees all the light in me. She's been with me through all my darkness, but it just seems like it's not getting anywhere. And I find, minus the times where I get harassed in my vehicle by police, and which brings up PTSD of the child trafficking that I went through in the system and in the state, it's been rough. But anyway, let's get on with the show. This is about us as a collective, not about my shadows. This is about bringing the knowledge and the wisdom to everybody. We've all got shadows, we all got trauma. So I'm not gonna wallow in pity and pain. I'm gonna raise my vibration up with unconditional love and strength, and we're gonna get on with the show. The sword is a tool of lifting up with strength the shadows, analyzing them, giving them reasoning and understanding why they ultimately destroy us. It is representation of cultivating the self-sufficient, radical self-sufficient, because we can't be radically self-sufficient if we're in our sorrows and our pain, or we go to anger instead and hardened hearts. And that's what I did. I had a hardened heart for a while, and I finally softened my heart, and all of a sudden I just felt like a baby. Like all the pain just rushed in and it buried me. That's what happened the last 3 weeks. Is instead of hardening my heart and continuing to do what I did, I softened my heart, and I tried my best to allow for unconditional love to come in and to feel the pain of trying to step away from the relationship. And with facing that shadow and that pain, all of this light was able to come in because I wasn't restricting my energy. I was being true to my emotions, and my emotions were low. Representation of cultivating the self-sufficient, unconditional, loving warrior within and becoming a conduit of community building and regeneration of the collective humanity's sacred heart and regeneration of the planet who gives us the life to live. The planet gives us the elements, the sun, the water, the wind, the earth. Those elements create the food which we ingest, or the animals that we ingest. Without it, we would die. So to not have unconditional love for this planet and our connection of our interconnectedness, woven unity, we're not truly having unconditional love for ourselves. So by not being a green thumb, you're also not being a humanity thumb, or a humanity thumb. Because human, woman, I'm really wanting to bang that in. No, I really want to flow that in. I don't want to bang nothing in anyone's head. I want to flow that into people's head. That was trauma. When I got beat as a kid, they said, "Are you gonna get it when I'm beating it into your head? Are you gonna fucking..." Anyway, sorry. Sorry about that. We've all had some trauma. Okay, so I conduct all my workouts to my best ability with these truths and unconditional love with ethos. Okay, disclaimer number 4. I take full responsibility, meaning the viewers, and myself, for my own body, and know what's best for my body. And going inward, I realize that I must start light and work my way up slowly as my body adapts to the workouts, and that by loving myself unconditionally, I will not be led by the ego, but by listening to my body and performing these exercises to create the full functional workouts that will keep me mentally, physically, and emotionally strong and light and loving hearted. These minimalistic exercises of routine and spirit ethos are a blessing to me, my friends, my family, my community, and the world as a collective. I realize that minimal equipment is less savage to the planet, and in the end makes us all happier, stronger, and healthier mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I'm so happy and honored to use less equipment to get more and do more for the planet, for my physical vessel and my spirit and the humanity as a collective. Less wasteful and pillaging of resources, and more frugal diligence and being industrious for the perseverance of an optimal vitality of self and planet who nurtures us. And at that time it was 1233, so I thought of 12, which is all the 12 astrology signs, and the 33 vertebrae in your spine, the 33 years of Jesus. And then when I took the screenshot, it was 1234. Well, 4 for me represents the heart space, which is the 4th chakra, the Anahata. So the numbers have been speaking to me on a regular basis. But it's all a belief system too of what I believe about the numbers. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So everything is what you give power to. I commit myself to discovering within that I am a sovereign being, and that my hue man, the color of my skin, or hue woman, the color of the woman's skin, body is a self, because the hue is the color, right? But we're all one. We're all one collective. But when you break down the words, that's what I'm doing for y'all. Breaking down the English language. So I commit myself to discovering within that I am a sovereign being, and that my hue man, hue woman body is a self-regulating organism, meaning that it's designed and programmed to heal itself when given the right thoughts, environment, and frequencies of the unconditional heart space. I gotta drink some water. I gotta give myself some love here soon. That's the problem, is I'm dehydrated. I'm so dehydrated. Give a shout out to the water goddesses and the water warriors out there. You know who you are. You've been trying to get me on board for quite some time now. Now you'll be able to see the shadows I've been going through, the setbacks of trying to maintain a job and being woken up in the middle of the night and then being late to work. Anyway, not giving any blame, I'm giving full self-sufficiency. If I had a bigger, stronger community, I'm sure I could have found someone to let me park in their house, outside their house, in their driveway. So I commit myself to discovering within that I am a sovereign being, and that my hue man, hue woman body is a self-regulating organism, meaning this is designed and programmed to heal itself when given the right thoughts, environment, and frequencies. That the cure lies within my sacred heart and whole being, and how my whole body relates and interacts with this environment. I will be environmental for myself and the planet to coexist in its greatest form of interconnected vitality and life. Ultimately, I am the master of my own paradigm, reality, frequency, emotions, well-being, and health. It is up to me to lead myself to the life-giving light and elements of creation. I honor myself, I honor the earth and the cosmos. I lift myself unconditionally. I love myself unconditionally. I lift and love my human species unconditionally. I lift and love my planet, home, unconditionally. Don't we? And now I'm going to go into the 9 noble virtues, which were traditionally from my Scandinavian ancestors, but these noble virtues are for humanity as a collective of all the hues, because we are one species here on planet. We are humanity, hue, woman, ity. We are one race, the race of unconditional love and light and cooperation and the love for the planet. So, courage. I will face my fears and defend my universal earth family in the earth from all dangers, intellectually and through mass marketing means, through the sacred heart of unconditional love. Discipline. I will do what is necessary, right, for my own accord, and for the accord of the collective humanity and the earth that sustains our life force, through my sacred heart in unconditional love, and intellectually through mass marketing, fidelity. I will be true to myself, family, the collective humanity, kindred, to all those to whom I pledge my service through my sacred heart and unconditional love. Honor. I will stand by my oaths and honor my collective earth planetary ancestors by keeping my name, energy pure with light and love among all the kindred. Hospitality. I will share hearth. Hearth is the floor of a fireplace, meaning a home or a resting space. So I will share hearth, knowledge, unconditional love, healthy, life-giving organic food and water, or what I have at the time, with my friends and kindred, and anyone in need who asks and truly is in need, with the weary traveler at my door or anywhere in my presence, because truly the door of our vessel is wherever we stand, the door of our temple. Industriousness, bliss, ecstasy, and deep pleasure, joy. I take these joy and labor that is beneficial to the collective humanity in the planet, as it is absolutely interconnected and woven. I center my labor and business virtues in unconditional love for the all of the all, and mass marketing for the mass effect of universal consciousness, evolution to my humanity, Hugh woman, anity, Hugh child, family. Perseverance. I will press on against all odds until universal collective unconditional love for myself and the human, Hugh woman race and Hugh child race is complete and finished. And I have done all that my sacred heart has told me to do. Self-reliance and interconnected reliance of alliance. Self-reliance and interconnected reliance of alliance and allegiance. I will learn skills through my unconditional heart for the all of the all, so I can earn my heaven on earth, so I can grow and be a blessing of knowledge and evolved abundance to others, so I do not burden but help elevate my earth family and restore the earth. I do this through unconditional love for myself and the all of the all, learning to mass market and to mass network. When I truly am in need of help and cooperation, I will have no guilt or resentment for asking for the help I need that will push me to being the best that I can be for the collective, so that we can unfold through our sacred hearts. And then at this point it was 123. Not exactly sure what 23, but I think it's a number of royalty. We must crown ourselves as kings and queens. We are kings and queens of love, light, and truth. We stand for the unity of Hugh man, ity, Hugh woman, ity, of the all. The species of the unconditional love species, which is all tribes. Truth. I will seek the truth even though it may be harsh, as I know it will motivate me and us as a collective to create unconditional love in heaven on earth through the global sphere. I'm gonna say this again. This is so beautiful, because there's a lot of people that have a hard time looking into truth. I will seek the truth even though it may be harsh, as I know it will motivate me and us as a collective to create the unconditional love in heaven on earth through the global sphere. I stand in the truth from a place of unconditional love for the collective. I will never stand in silence from those who do not honor the truth of unity and unconditional love for the all of the all. I will be bold and use my voice no matter the circumstances. So for those who do not honor the truth and unity and unconditional love for the all of the all, I will be bold and use my voice no matter the circumstances, so that I can light that light and I can help align those spirits so they can come forth from their heart space in their groundedness to the earth chakra, to the sacral chakra, to the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, to the throat chakra, balanced through the sixth all-seeing eye chakra, and then connect to the Akashic records and the connection of all through the ESP of the seventh halo chakra. 7 virtues of a warrior. This is just some 7 virtues of a warrior. I'm going to go through and restructure these later. I really only structured the sensible exercise part, but I think these are really valid. And seeming that we are using swords, starting at 5-pound swords, working our way up to sky's the limit. So 7 virtues of a warrior. Rectitude. Rectitude means a state of being in alignment of moral integrity and righteousness. Courage, standing up for truth and unconditional love. Benevolence, the quality of being well-meaning through kindness. Politeness and propriety. I don't quite understand propriety, but honesty and sincerity, we all know that. Honor, honoring the all of humanity as a collective and the earth, our life giver. So there's honor. Loyalty, being loyal to all of the humanity as a collective and the earth as our life giver. So again, I'm just going to go down the 7 virtues of a warrior. We have rectitude, courage, benevolence, politeness, propriety. Those are 2 in 1, politeness and propriety. We have honesty, honor, and loyalty. So we have 5 keys to health: rational nutrition, organic health, having gratitude, having a spirit of unconditional love when we're charging the food, because Emoto, through science, they looked under a microscope. Food is also made a lot of water, our bodies are. So our bodies are going to receive and digest the nutrition more if we're through an unconditional heart space. So that's why we really have to have gratitude and unconditional love when we're putting the rational organic nutrition into our vessel, our temple. Sensible exercise, functional exercise, strength building exercise, flexibility, endurance, proper nervous system. So making sure our nervous system can, so we're going to be getting more into the heart space, the pranayama, the qigong, the tai chi, going the inner way, knowing the self, using affirmations, powerful affirmations, proper nervous system in 100% alignment with the chakras, and the higher conscious unconditional love and unity. So rational nutrition, organic, healthy, having gratitude, sensible exercise, functional exercise, strength building exercise, flexibility, endurance, proper nervous system, the 100% alignment of the chakras, and the higher consciousness of unconditional love and unity. Efficient rest, proper hygiene, and a positive attitude. 3 states of mind: alertness and awareness, consciousness, expansion. Add on to that a clear mind, a tranquil mind, a serene mind, an empowered mind. Emotional balance, energy and motion, balancing energy and motion through our thoughts and our environment and our nutrition. Everything that we do, breathe, hear, smell, taste, feel, touch, all the elements have, and how we react to that environment based upon our thoughts and our emotions. It all comes together to creating our consciousness from all the experiences that happened to us from the time that we were being cultivated in the womb, and from the DNA of our mother and the DNA of our father. Now, that was the platform that we started our own DNA, but we are 100% in control of our genetics through epigenetics. I saw some bikers on the way here, and so I just wanted to give a shout out to them. So let's be radical, dude, radically self-reliant and cooperative. I had a vision of unconditional love, biker parades on the daily. I saw the world peace flags, the hearts, raising up the divine feminine, you know, questioning the system and why we call things human and humanity instead of human, and how we can have a balance of both the feminine and the masculine, especially that we all come from the womb water wisdom that gives us life and is creating us, is the creatrix. So we need to speak that. That's one of the biggest things that we need, because all my healing has really come from channeling the sacred mother and the sacred feminine over the last 3 weeks. And the divine masculine as well. The two combined. So, let's be radically self-reliant and cooperative. I had a vision of unconditional love, biker parades on the daily. Let's give love and thanks to all the bikers that consume less gasoline on average. The bikes are using only 35 to 40 miles per gallon and upwards of 60 miles per gallon. Unknowingly and knowingly, bikers are honoring the planet and their spirit body by being close to the elements, the air, the oxygen, and the direct sunlight. Because the direct sunlight charges our hormonal system and keeps the balance of health, wellness. So there's something wild about that, something wild and free. Should be honored, especially for the fact that it consumes a lot less gasoline, or equal to, and then it helps the spirit to be cultivated. Let us honor the healthy fast food places that are popping up all over right now to help those of us who are busy like bees. You know, we're pollinating the love on the planet, the unconditional love, and we're pollinating the interconnectedness of people coming together and realizing that we are all connected. Every thought and emotion that we have sends a ripple effect that has a greater effect on each and everybody that we come into contact with. And people can feel the energies, not even face to face with you. So let us honor those healthy fast food places. I had the best Mexican food today, and it's not like the normal Mexican restaurants that I go to that this was the most delicious Mexican food, and it was fast. It was delicious. And we gotta stop eating that garbage because we're killing ourselves. And if we're lowering our vibration by eating low vibrational food that's killing our health, we're not going to be in as much gratitude for the vitality. When we're in a sense of peace and vitality, and our bodies are well maintained and our vessel is well taken care of, we have the energy and the vitality to enjoy the splendors of earth, to easily go into creating the gut biome. When we destroy our gut biome by eating garbage, it's hard to produce the serotonin and the dopamine and these other drugs that give us that sense of ecstasy, bliss, and interconnectedness to the unconditional heart. Okay, so who are busy building the best versions of ourselves, they're popping up those fast foods, helping us that are busy building the best versions of ourselves and the collective and the planet. Those who live humbly and are minimalistic and resourceful, the peace and universal love bringers, the verifiers who live sustainably, the van lifers. Okay, this is really important. I'm going to read this again through the spirit, because this right here is to honor myself through all the trauma that I've been to, being treated like scum by police. And I supported the police. I sold 5,000 Blue Line flags, which I greatly regret now. I do not regret selling the 10,000 Second Amendment flags. Preserve your life and liberty at all costs. We're seeing what's happening in Ukraine right now. Violence should always be the last answer. If we took better care of our planet and repopulated the planet with wildlife, we could all hunt for ourselves, and we could guarantee growing our own food forests, that we could eat of the flesh and be more connected to the beautiful sacrifice of the animals that give us our life. And if we don't give gratitude and understand the divine connection that we have with our food, how can we have vitality? We just keep going and putting garbage into our bodies. And if we're not up to date with our serotonin and dopamine, we're not feeling good, we're not going to be able to connect to the anahata, or the seventh chakra, which connects us to everything. Once you're aligning your chakras through breath and through love, you're able to release the most amount of DMT naturally, which really gives you that interconnectedness, knowing. Never done DMT or ayahuasca yet. I felt called to. I'm really just focusing on aligning my chakras, because I instantly get a feeling of ecstasy, bliss, euphoria. Oh, it feels so good. And when I stay hydrated, get through this, I get some water. I'm so parched. Okay. Let us honor the healthy fast food places that are popping up to help those of us who are busy building the best versions of ourselves and collectively and the planet, and honor those who live humbly and are minimalistic and resourceful, the peace and universal love bringers, the van lifers and RVers who live sustainably and rape the earth minimally. We all rape the earth. If we're consuming of the earth and we're not planting trees, or we're not doing service to the earth, we're raping the earth. And in the end, we're raping ourselves, because we're letting large corporations maintain the monopolies, feed us Monsanto crap, injected hormonal meats, which create pretty much all the pandemics. Mad cow, chicken cow, bat disease. All the pandemics come from the animals shitting and pissing in a small area. Watch Cowspiracy. So we should replenish the earth and bring balance back to the earth and repopulate, so that we can hunt again and get back connected with the sun and the moon cycles and our divine connection to the earth, so that we can live and be at the greatest vitality. And that comes from letting the earth and not being a cancer to the earth. Because if we're a cancer to the earth, we're a cancer to ourselves. Because how could someone who understands how to have optimal vitality be a cancer to the earth? You'd be a psycho or insane if you knew that knowledge and you continued, which is a lot of the people that are woke up to it now. It's just hard and difficult because we have a lot of healing to do and we haven't recognized our power of love and community quite yet. But we're coming together and it's happening all around, and it's going to continue to happen because we are the loving, unconditional loving mass marketers on planet Earth. Let us grow food forests along everywhere in our communities and show love to the houseless, not homeless. I made those people feel uncomfortable when I talked bad about the police. They didn't like that. Well, there's a reason that they were going to get defunded. They're killing a lot of people. They're acting out of fight or flight. There's been police states throughout history. Germany, Stalin, Russia, Mao, Hugo Chavez, Fidel Castro. Got to keep an eye. And that's why the people, they always disarm the society before the tyranny comes down full force and people lose all their rights. Okay, coming back to this, we're spreading the universal love. We're growing food forests along everywhere in our communities to show love for the houseless, not the homeless, that use far less resources in their lifetime by not owning a giant home and burning fuel and paying for vehicles that were dug and ripped out of Mother Earth. So homeless, minus, unfortunate, not all of them, I'd say. There's a lot of them. The police treat them all the same because a lot of them are a problem. They're mentally ill. They're in fight or flight. They've been treated like garbage in their lives, or they treat themselves like garbage and they haven't taken responsibility for the love that society's tried to give them, or they just keep getting disrespected like I do when I'm sleeping in my vehicle, have all this anger and hatred poured down upon me by corporate conglomerate security guards and police officers that have guns and bulletproof vests, that are mean, that are aggressive, that try to strike fear into my heart. Well, if I have fear in my heart, how am I supposed to spread unconditional love amongst the planet? And I've been getting better. I've actually been able to really, really help. Sometimes I just make them feel so guilty they hang their heads, but other times when I come in unconditional love, I see the light opening up in them, and I see that they really took it to heart. And that's what I need to do more of. But when they wake me up in the middle of the night and I'm having a nightmare or something, what do you expect? So, back to what I was saying. Let us grow food forests along everywhere in our communities to share love for the houseless, not the homeless, as everywhere we stand is our earth home, that use far less resources in their lifetime by not owning a giant house and burning fuel and paying for vehicles that were dug and ripped out of the Mother Earth. If we love those who are houseless, living in and close to the elements of Earth, perhaps they would not worry about survival, and we did more for them and listened to their stories and love them with unconditional love, then perhaps they would take better care of our environment and there wouldn't be trash around. It'd be all food. There'd be food everywhere from the trees and the bushes. So they never have to worry about feeling guilt or resentment for not being able to hold their own, because this is America. This is America. This is a capitalist society where we're expected to be radically self-sufficient, and as a collective we're not. We're completely, this is not how America was intended to be. It was meant for there to be love, unity, peace, morality, and self-sufficiency, and for the community, not the government, to help those in need. That's what it was. That was what the founding fathers, I believe, had in mind when they fought off the British. I could be wrong, who knows? His story is history. Why do we call it history? How about her story? History's done. It's her story. Her story. The wombing love mothers need to come up, rise their voices, let people know that they need to come back to the womb wisdom of where they were when you were loving your children, and war will stop. When those men that are fighting like children and killing people for resources and greed, when they feel the womb wisdom of the mother of the creatrix, that's when wars will stop. And the men around them honor them and lift them up and protect them and their words. So the homeless use way less resources. So even if they are, now there's a huge problem out here. I got talking to a family that is very minimalist. They have solar panels. It was costing them $500 in propane. So the solar panels paid for themselves in no time. And they're saying that there's a huge problem with the homeless. They start fires on accident because they're in a state of survival. They fall asleep drunk, under the influence, because they haven't figured out how to heal their shadow, or they haven't felt, or there haven't been programs or eco villages or earth programs where they can work with the earth and grow food forests for the community of the houseless and build their own earth houses that cost only $2,000. When we can do this program, they can literally anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. It'd be like buying any other house. But the people come together, and those people also have a fraction of the taxes. But the people that start it, we come together out of our hearts, and we get the land for that to happen. Because if we wanna create solutions that actually heal the broken and the weary and the hurting and the angry, a lot of people that have, it goes up the emotional chart. Depression is beneath anger. Anger gives you a sense of empowerment. It can be far more dangerous to people around you, but it can also save your life. But unconditional love is the only thing truly that can save all of us. They use far less resources in the lifetime of not owning a giant house, cutting down all those trees, all those plastics that are used for insulation, burning less fuel. If we loved those who are houseless, living in and close to the elements of earth. So there's I've interviewed a lot of homeless people because I've had a couple of vehicles break down in homeless facilities. And I asked them, if there was a program where you could camp, would you camp? 75% of them told me, hell yeah. And they feel like it would be spiritually, they said that's what they used to do, is they used to just camp down by the river because they felt the peace of the water and the earth, the calmness, the serenity, the peace, and it gave them time. A lot of them even told me that those were the times when they were able to stop their addictions, because they didn't have to run from the pain, because they were in a peaceful place where they could just slow down and feel safe. And in beauty, the beauty of the environment took away all the pain. And that's true for me too. Although I've been living van life and I've always worked. There's been a couple times where, I was emotionally unbalanced from like the 7,500 times that police have harassed me for living in my car in the middle of the night where I wasn't able to get to sleep. And then I wouldn't hear my alarm go off. I'd say that's at least 10 of the jobs that I lost. I've had 60 jobs in my lifetime. Some of those police have just been damn right nasty and hateful. It's really sad. There's a lot of good ones out there too. There's a lot of good ones out there that believe in protecting and serving the all of the all, and have compassion for people that are homeless, and protect a lot of the people that are homeless that are unstable and are criminals. What's criminal though is not helping them and continuing to let the forest burn down and not finding alternatives of healing. We all need earth. The closer we're connected to earth, the healthier we are, the happier we are. And I see the cities as the shadows of death. There's pollution there. There's noise chaos. There's light pollution. You're not getting enough melatonin, so your hormones aren't regulating. you're constantly in a state of stress. It's just like the people that are homeless. They're constantly in a state of stress. Or for the non-violent criminals that get sent to prison, they keep the lights on all night. They're constantly keeping them in a state of stress. They're putting the non-violent criminals in with the violent criminals. What do you think is going to happen when you stick non-violent criminals with criminals? The non-violent criminals might become violent criminals. So we're just creating more problems for ourselves as a collective by not having compassion. And we should have compassion for the violent criminals too, because a lot of those children could have been like me. They got legally child trafficked from their mother by the state because they grew marijuana, which was a non-violent crime, and then had the pharmaceutical companies end up giving her a heart attack and the electric chair too, because she had so much trauma and anxiety. She went a little crazy. They put her in the electric chair. They electrocuted my mother in an electric chair and legally child trafficked me into an abusive home. And then after I ran away, the state institution sexually abused me, mentally abused me, physically abused me, threw me down flights of stairs. I got jumped by aggressive kids. If they didn't know who started the fight, they'd grab us both up. I got thrown down the stairs once by adults because I didn't want to go into the lockup room for 12 hours. There was piss and shit everywhere. You literally had to piss and shit in there and you couldn't eat for 12 hours. That was in Iowa, Rabner's Boys Ranch. It's one of the 5 hell zones that I went through as a child. I could have ended up being one of the worst that society has ever seen. But through the unconditional love and understanding what that is, I couldn't allow myself to go that route because I know it would be in dissonance and it would be very hard to forgive myself and it'd be even harder to have unconditional love for myself than I've had trying to cultivate my entire existence. Anyway, I just thought people should know that because it's still happening, and we need to fix our systems, and we need to bring unconditional healing and understanding to all of the collective, and then we can start solving our problems, and we won't be fighting. People that are mentally, spiritually, and emotionally healthy, they can be self-sufficient if they're given the proper schooling. And we all know that our school systems are created to feed the big corporations, which have done the most harm through us and have bought out the politicians. So it comes down to personal responsibility. We can't change the system by fighting the old, but by creating the new through the unconditional love space. If we love those who are houseless, living in and close to the elements of earth, perhaps they would not worry about survival. And if we did more for them and listened to their stories and love them, then perhaps they would take care of the environment and there wouldn't be trash all around. And all that food would be everywhere. There'd be food forests everywhere. They would feel healthier. Also, here's the thing, the free food that homeless get, like when I've had to go to the homeless shelter, it's canned food. After I eat that canned food, being in my vehicle hunched over, I automatically feel like absolute garbage. Like, one of the most motivating things from the first time I became homeless was getting the heck out of that shelter because all the crazy energy. Imagine the energy of a consolidation of homeless. It's like, imagine the energy of a beautiful meditation group versus the consolidation of a lot of traumatic people that are homeless. It traumatized me. There was a lot of scary people in there. Ex-murderers, people that hadn't been to jail, gang members, people selling meth and heroin right in front of me, lighting up. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I almost wanted to freaking crush their skull in. Oh, sorry. Because they were doing that stuff around me. I was like, dude, what the heck, man? Do you have any respect? I don't want to breathe in that stuff. I have love for my temple. Don't you have love for your temple? Sometimes I almost got in fights because I wasn't coming through an unconditional space. If I would have had unconditional love, maybe they would have put it out and we wouldn't have almost gotten into a fight. And maybe I could have... I want to bring this to people There's a place in Eugene, Oregon that's doing the tiny house community where they get to work in the earth, and it's really been helping. I think 75 to 90%. Check on that out for yourself, but it's a high number of people that are being able to heal by working with the earth and having the meditation and the yoga in their communities, eating their organic food, listening to music, learning about how trauma is trapped in the body, and through movement and trance and mental mind alchemy. They're teaching them the principles of how their mind controls their future, and they're getting constant unconditional love from the community there. 75 to 90% recovery, I do believe. And if it's not, we could easily make it happen by increasing the effectiveness of the systems. We must stop as police and security, and I'm not police and security, but I'm taking responsibility. We must stop as police and security. We have to, brothers and sisters. We must stop as police and security hassling, scarring, and threatening the homeless, waking them up in the middle of the night, threatening to assault and kidnap and cage them if they do not move from wherever they are in this sacred earth that belongs to a corporation. Because better believe that they do it to everybody, not just, now they should do it with unconditional love to the people that are creating a mess, but we wouldn't have those messes if we had those programs, if we had the healing ceremonies, if we allowed the churches that are doing the healing medicine, plant medicines. We wouldn't have that. I think it's like a 90% recovery rate with iboga or ayahuasca with the proper shaman, from completely coming off cigarettes, alcohol, porn addictions, meth, heroin, negative thoughts. They could be hyping it up, but I've talked to a lot of people that have had really rough pasts that are business owners that told me that they used to do heroin. I was like, really? What the fuck? Maybe I shouldn't have judged people so much, because they're spiritually better off than a lot of people that I know, like myself, that have been sober for years. Minus the DMT breathing. You can release DMT through the breath, and when I do that and I come through the heart space allows the chakra channels to open up. The yoga, the stretching, the self-massage. Honestly, you don't need drugs. You don't need anything outside the body. That's why I'm going to go to the meditation school. Why I want to be reliant on anything outside of yourself, but we are reliant on food. So if there's something that can instantly project you in a weekend out of a life-threatening habit, then I say we set up these things and make them available for those that are causing a lot of chaos in our society through their hurt and their trauma and their anger of how they've been treated from being where they're at. When I was homeless, people looked at me different. It didn't feel good. It felt really, really depressing. And I had a beautiful, happy energy, and people just, in those places, they just didn't see me as an equal. Some of them did. You'd be surprised how they're treated. I was in one situation where I had to beg for money, and the first three people, because I was a little bit scared and I wasn't confident and I wasn't in a heart space, just total rudeness towards me, and I almost couldn't breathe after that. And then after that, I said, you know what, hey man, I don't want to ask for a handout. I just need like $5. It's all I need right now. Matter of fact, I've owned a couple of companies. The dude pulls out a big wad of cash and he starts going through $20. I'm like, no. He's like, dude, I respect you. I've been homeless too, and I own this taco truck. At the end of the day, my pride only took $5 though, because that's all I truly needed at the time. Actually, the $20 would have probably been what I needed. I probably needed like $150. My vehicle was broke down. I probably needed like 1,000. But at that moment, I just needed enough for water and food, and I didn't want to ask too much from somebody that was self-sufficient and had so much love in their heart. But maybe I should have accepted it. I don't know. I wasn't able to do that ever again. Pride, resentment towards myself for feeling weak, judging myself. I could have starved because of it. if I wouldn't have had that little bit of unconditional love and those words that made him respect me, who knows, maybe I could have asked 50 people and then snapped out when someone was rude. Who knows? Or cussed at people and gave, that's probably why majority of the people don't like homeless, because I've had homeless people ask me for money and they're just straight nasty to me. And I almost like really thought about doing some bad things to some of them. There was one, he was horrible. This guy poured beer on people's windshields and then mopped them off. I feel so sorry for that guy. His name was Tom. And he was a complete insane, and I saw a little bit of humanity to him. I put up with way too much, but I thought I was gonna hurt him, and I'm glad I didn't, because then I would have lowered myself. And instead I just stood up to him with unconditional love. Unfortunately, that's probably the reason he kept coming back, because through bits and times of hearing his story, he just had all this anger and this denial, and he couldn't get past it. I'd be surprised if he's still alive, to be honest. That was in a bad part of a neighborhood, and he was doing that to the wrong people to be doing that to. That's all I gotta say. Tom, crazy dude, man. The most psychotic person I think I've ever met. Okay, so living, okay. So waking them up in the middle of the night and threatening to assault them and kidnap, like, there's been times where the police have threatened to take me to jail if I didn't move, because I was stating my case on being sovereign and not being woken up in the middle of the night and having my human rights violated. And they would literally put their hand on their pistol or say, "Get your hands up," when I was clearly talking about that. And then they said, "I'm not going to argue with you. I'm the police officer here. You're going to move." And I go on telling them, okay. So I have 2 jobs. I save all my money. I bought this vehicle cash. I'm a human being and you're going to treat me like garbage? Who are you? That's the reason why America is crumbling, because we don't have morality and love in our police departments. You're treating people like me and not even listening to my case when I'm coming to you from a place of true needing to be understood. They won't listen. They are on a power trip. They feel like they're God. Not all of them. I've had a lot of times where they said, "You can stay here for the night, but you're gonna have to move tomorrow." Or some of them are nice and they tell me where I could go. A lot of them didn't even know. I think I've only had one person out of the 7,500 encounters that actually could recommend me a safe place to park where I wouldn't be hassled again, or they'd say, "I don't know. So you're gonna make me move and wake me up in the middle of the night, but you don't even know where I can go to be safe and not be harassed, and then not wake up in the morning and then lose my job." There's just no regard. There's no unconditional love. And that happened before I sold Blue Line flags. I still gave them the benefit of the doubt. And every flag I sold, I said, "Hey, look, we back the blue, that back the morality of the heart space and the Constitution of the United States of America." But it hasn't changed. I'm still getting treated this way. There's still people out there that are in power that have guns and bulletproof vests. Do you think if they talk down to people in a state of power that potentially, if the position was offered for them to become a police state and they would get more money from the taxpayers, that they wouldn't go for it? Start listening to the homeless and what they go through, because like I said, I have a house. It's my vehicle that I worked very hard for. Beautiful hybrid, gets 30 miles a gallon. Not out here in the country. In the hills it only gets like 21 to 25. But I still love it out here way better. Tell you that. Okay, anyway, we're gonna get on with it. We must stop as police and security hassling, scaring and threatening the homeless, waking them up in the middle of the night, threatening to assault and kidnap and cage them, because that's technically what we would be doing as police. Is we would, for nonviolent crime, and for you saying that being homeless is a crime and sleeping in your car is a crime, it technically is kidnapping with force. So for a nonviolent crime, you're going to use force and aggression, which is a violent crime. So for a nonviolent crime, we're going to use a violent crime. and then lock people up and kidnap them into cheap slavery, which is prison, where you do work for like 17 cents an hour to get time off of your record. And then be rude to them so they snap, and then you escalate things and give them a felony. That's what a lot of seems to happen a lot when you watch these videos that are all viral. They do the opposite of calming it. They actually on purpose charge it. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And for them not to get jail time for that and be arrested, it allows it to continue. If there's not harsh punishment for people that have great power, that need to have great responsibility, and there's no punishment, it's just going to keep getting worse, and then everybody's freedom is a threat. And then when the police state happens and it becomes a socialist dictatorship or a capitalist dictatorship like we have now, where all the corporations set all the policies, we have no one to blame but ourselves as a collective. Peace and love, everybody. We all need peace and love. Even the people that are using their power against them, you guys need peace and love too. Even the people putting them into power, come on now. Seriously. Threatening to kidnap them and cage them like animals if they don't move on the land which is sacred, that belongs to all of us. Living van life, I've lost over 7 jobs, and I understand, private property, but really, if someone's just parking in a parking lot and they're not bothering anybody, why harass them of a corporate conglomerate grocery store that is selling genetically modified food and cancerous meat products? I used to work at a packing plant, and there was like huge cancerous blobs of mucus, and they told us just to cut them off. The things that you don't know unless you work in a meat packing plant. If you're eating cancerous meat, they cut off the cancer part, but you don't think that that's somehow not still connected to the animal? Oh, it was disgusting. I went vegan for like 3 months, and then I needed to eat meat again. I successfully was vegan for like a year and a half out of my life before I eat meat again. Anyway, so the sacred land belongs to all of us. We need at least create places where they can go and feel safe, or have different places for the people like me that can go, and then the people that severely have issues, they can stay together, but maybe there's a couple staff there that help guide them, because not all homeless people are the same. A lot of homeless people are very extremely intelligent, has seen the Matrix. It depresses them a little bit. They want to be minimalists, they want to travel, they want to be snowboarders, they love nature, they love to camp. That's probably over half of the homeless, to be honest, that choose to be homeless, choose to live the van life. And the police treat us like that. Unbelievable. Okay, living van life, I've lost over 7 jobs, being woken up in the dead of night, feeling threatened and hated and disgust from police. That happened 7 times since 2015, which has been like 75 to 100 encounters of just being waken up in the dead of the night. I'd say 30 to 35% of them were just outright rude and aggressive, and I'd say about 10 to 20%, if I tried to state my case, they'd hunch up. I'd say like 10 to 15% would put their hand on their pistol. So living van life, I've lost over 7 jobs, being woken up in the dead of the night, feeling threatened, not hearing the alarm, because like sometimes it'd be hard to fall back asleep, and then I'd be so tired at like 5 o'clock, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna set my alarm, I'll wake up in an hour and a half, start to get tired, then boom, I'd wake up in my vehicle being hot boxed and dehydrated, because you got to wake up when you're doing van life at a certain time, otherwise you'll get cooked to death, unless you have a really nice dope insulated ride, which I highly recommend. Sink, shower, twin size bed that pulls out to a king size bed. If you're gonna be living the life, live the life. Have it be holistic, be able to stretch out. It's one of the biggest reasons why I haven't been able to advance as fast on my workouts. So I felt the hatred, the disgust from them, which transmuted into despair, anger, rage, sadness, unworthiness that I had felt living this life since an orphan. All the stuff that the state did to me, and then trying to escape the matrix and just live van life. I still continued just being a solo, independent, sovereign human. Still can't be sovereign, So Let us build eco villages and free parking for van lifers, for those who kick their self-sabotaging addictions. So create homeless programs who are willing to kick their self-sabotaging addictions, like we talked about, and cultivate environments that cultivate self-love and the loss of hatred and sadness and depression that they feel for society. And we call ourselves civilized. We're not a civilized society. I mean, we still have war. We have homeless. We have greedy people and corporations that punish the masses by manipulating them through mass hypnosis. And we lost our connection in our community to stand up for our rights and our sovereignty. So it's up to us. If you don't like how much stuff costs, stop being manipulated. If they control all the resources, they can charge whatever they want and blame it on whatever situation that they create. Hegelic dialectic, problem, action, solution. So let's transcend this matrix into heaven on earth. Love rules all hearts, bridging light, healing, and restoration. Fires, fight or flight. Oh, so I was talking to that couple that I had delivered that package to through the Amazon job that I was late to today because of what happened last night of being harassed and not waking up on time, not being able to get to sleep. And I'm not going to put the blame on them, because truly if I had more control over my emotion, my energy emotion, I would have sloughed it off. I would have found another place. I would have given it another risk of not being woken up, because I couldn't actually find a place. I ended up coming back and parking in the same parking lot because there was like 20 other cars there, but just because I was over the side, he wanted to come and talk to me because he felt safe to talk to the one person that was isolating themselves. But I isolate myself on purpose from people that live van life, because some of them are the reason why they're hired in the first place. But the parking lot that I was at, I highly don't think so. They probably live van life, because most of them look like they had van life rigs. Like some of those van life rigs were like $40,000 to $70,000. So I'm sure they wouldn't fuck with them. Oh, they would. Of course they would if they were by themselves. But no, they won't, because they're going to come through unconditional love. We're not going to put that into the universe. We're going to help this conscious evolution and expansion. So love rules all hearts, bringing life, healing, and restoration. The fires. So it is true. A lot of homeless people have been starting the fires. So if we create these eco villages and we clear, we only let the ones that have shown that if they go there, you know, they stay there, and then if they graduate, they can go get a part-time job or something like that. I don't know, or they just live on site. Then you don't have to worry about drugs coming in to the rehabilitation centers of the tiny houses and the earth eco villages, where they're growing their own food, they're organically gardening, they're doing their yoga every day, they're doing their pranayama breath, they're figuring out how to transcend their shadow with light and love. And there's singing classes, there's a music room of instruments, there's a painting room. Let's do a song real quick. So this is off, I can't remember the artist's name, but I'm gonna try to remember the lyrics, and then I switch the lyrics up. I don't know if I actually am gonna be able to remember it. Okay, let's go. I gotta try to get into my flow of voice. So I've been really intense and haven't 100% been in my heart space, but this is all from the heart space. Very passionate about this. I need to relax, ground, hydrate. I'm gonna do that now before the song. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do my 1,000 strikes. I was gonna do 1,000 strikes with a 25-pound sword, but I'm not even hydrated, so we'll see if I get that today. Bang, I just drank a quarter of a gallon in like 5 seconds. That's what I'm talking about. That should hydrate me up for the next 10 minutes. Sometimes it's hard for me to sing when people are around, but I don't care. So here we go. Get the sun charge. Oh my God. I gotta do yoga before my back. I pulled a muscle in my back like a week ago doing parkour, and I jumped off like a 10-foot stone. Oh God. Okay. It's time for a champion. Raise the soul of the land. Sow the hearts with the seed and sand till the sun comes up again. Reach for the sky. Keep your eye on the prize. Forever in my heart, you're my only sunshine. That's not the lyrics anyway, but I'm just gonna do a little branch of the remix. And my voice is horrible right now because I got that pulled muscle and I'm dehydrated and I think I'm probably sunburned too. Anyway, here we go. It's time for the collective unified champions, soothing the heart and the soul of our collective tribe and land. Yeah, it's not gonna sound too melodio, but I don't care. We're getting the message out and we're singing, which brings joy. It's moving the energy, baby. You feel that? Sing and rejoice. Reach for the skies, keep your heart to the skies, feet grounded in your truth as we watch the sun rise. The daughter rises too, loving masculine and feminine are true. We bid our hearts together in the all we do. So I'm gonna take some singing classes because honestly I need to start playing the guitar. I act like the sword's a guitar, but that'd be cool. I create workout swords that are also banjos. You see that? Or sword rain sticks. And then I'll just play the guitar on my workout sword. We're gonna get in a workout and I'm gonna push for 1,000 strikes. But before we start, I'm just gonna do some yoga and a little bit of breathing, and I'm gonna come into my heart space. I'm gonna put my shirt back on because I'm already getting a sunburn. So yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Oh, please subscribe to the channel. It helped me out so much in sharing this message of love and unity. I couldn't do it without my family. My Unitarian family of the human race, of free, sovereign people who take 100% responsibility for their lives and they don't leave it up to governments and politricians. That's right, I said politricians because they're all full of politricks. Okay, we're just gonna I got this one from Troy Casey, Certified Health Nut. It's called the Zen Twist. And I'm just gonna back up so you can see it. We're activating and breathing 100% in through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels comfortable. And we're moving the blood throughout the entire spine. So that way, if there's any stagnation in the body or the blood's not pumping in the muscles, we wanna make sure all the joints are lubricated. And if we're not breathing into the diaphragm 100%, so this is just gonna lube up all the joints and make sure that the blood is carrying the juices to where they need to go, so that there's not, it's like when you get arthritis and you start doing self-massage on your arthritis, it goes away. You start doing this qigong, this pranayama, you're gonna see your pain just go right out the door.
Keep on moving till the first rays of dawn, keeping it on till the day stays strong, burning till the nighttime blazes on.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do 1,000 a day because that back thing, and I woke up dehydrated this morning. But we're gonna shoot for a solid 300 for sure, no matter what, as long as it takes. Or 333. How about that? Left my massager in the car. Normally I take the massager over my whole body, so I'm just gonna kind of jump up and down and get loose. Honestly, I could do 1,000 if it was at 17.5 pounds, but because it's at 25 pounds, I'm just gonna do as much as I can do where I feel okay in my body. And I'm gonna realize that if I hurt myself, it's not worth it. Because if you have a pulled muscle, it's hard to breathe. That means I'm having a blockage because there's some pain in that pulled muscle, and that means I've had stagnation. And you don't want to have stagnation when you're swinging a 25-pound sword. Now, if I had a 5-pound sword, if I pushed myself, I could probably do 1,000 in 30 minutes. 1,000 strikes in 30 minutes. That'd be fun. I'm gonna do. This is called the Cobra push-up. It's downward dog going into a cobra. It's called a Hindu push-up, so that always helps my back.
All along I keep singing my song. I said this phase is always. Sometimes I get so crazy, but just know that I always stay. Show my life through the haze. It's time for a champion. Soothe the soul of the land. Mend the heart from the sea and the sand till the sun comes up again.
That dehydration, man. Hydration, water's life. Better get some good quality mountain water. All these plastics and these parabens. So once you start to see where these are stored, they store them in warehouses out in the sun. And then the plastic, even though there's not BPA in there, it screws up your hormone system. Oh, I'm gonna get a big 5-gallon when I upgrade to my Sprinter van or get the gas guzzling beast fixed. I think I just need to get rid of it, but thinking of Ford Transit van with a U-joint or a F450. I want something that gets decent gas mileage though, so that'd be a big thing. But also I want to have really good, reliable off-road capability. So I have to do some more research on that, but I guarantee I'll be able to manifest that in a year from now. I guarantee it. Cash. If the government doesn't crash the economy and bring on the cryptocurrency before then. All right, so I'm gonna shoot for 300 to begin with. We're gonna do 150 upward battle strikes side to side. I'm gonna do 75 on each one hand position, and then we're gonna do 75 on each hand position side to side battle strikes. So we're gonna shoot for 333, who knows? I might make it to 1,000. All right, everybody. Warriors of love, light, and unity, sending yourself to the heart space. This sword right here represents the darkness that you've been going through in your life that's holding you back from achieving your dreams, creating your own business, giving you the confidence to go out and create any business that you want, be able to have the best relationships with yourself, your family, and your community. And that's what this represents. But it also represents us transmuting that darkness through strength and consistency into light and love and community and wealth building. So let's get it.
It's time for a champion. Soothe the soul of the land. Mend the heart from the sea and the sand.
All right, we're gonna go backwards. Start.
Till the sun comes up again. Reach for the sky. Keep your eye on the prize. Forever in my mind. Be my golden sunshine. It's waiting in your mind. So push the clouds aside. Forever by my side, be my golden sunshine. When the sun sets, I let myself down. Found the ground beneath my feet gone. No more words were there to speak. On that day my song was born. Never meant to leave you all alone. Said I'd be a shelter from the storm. Now your clothes have all been torn. Kingdom sacked, attacked and dethroned. It's time for a champion. Soothe the soul of the land. Mend the heart from the sea and the sand till the sun comes up again. It's time for a champion. Soothe the soul of the land. Mend the heart from the sea and the sand till the sun comes up again.
So that breakup, it killed me. It took away my vitality. It's been really, really tough on me. Haven't been getting up every day, doing my hikes, doing my walks. Haven't been drinking my water consistently. Haven't been doing my singing. Haven't been doing my pranayama. Haven't been doing my qigong. Haven't been doing my yoga. Lost my job that one day 3 weeks ago. felt my root chakra get threatened because I had about 30 bucks to my name. Went into a state of fight or flight. The nervous system wasn't regulating. So it's amazing what not being centered and not working out for 3 weeks can do to you cardiovascular wise, strength wise, spiritually. So consistency. Oh. Normally I would have been able to do 50 of those in a row with a 60-pound weighted vest, the 10-pound ankle weights. You guys know what it is. Go check out my previous videos. Whew, that's what 3 weeks can do of not keeping the nutrition on point, being highly stressed, not being in a state of bliss, tranquility, serenity, joy, excitement, enlightenment. It can steal your vitality. And so there's really a lot of truth to what the Reiki healers do and Jesus Christ did. And like I said, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Buddhist, but I do believe that he had a lesson to teach us. And it all comes down to having unconditional love for ourselves and moving out of those low vibrations from the low vibrational chart. You know, the fear, the anger, the anxiety, the boredom, the stagnation. All the ones we talked about earlier. So it's up to us. We have to take 100% responsibility for the alchemy that we create with our thoughts and the emotions, the energies in motion. So let's do it. I'm a little winded. I only did 25. We're doing 333 strikes. Let's get it. So I did 25 back. So I'm going to continue with the same hand position. I'm going to do 25 forward. Let's get it, everybody.
Reach for the sky, keep your eye on the prize. Forever in my mind, be my golden sunshine. It's waiting in your mind to push them clouds aside. Forever by my side, be my golden sunshine. It's the way of the world, you're on your own. Time to grow and be a man. Wanna fly high like Peter Pan. No more never land. So lose your backpack filled with sand. Come along and take my hand. We'll walk together, walk forever. Reach for the sky. Keep your eye on the prize. Ever in my mind, be my golden sunshine.
Okay, so for you Christians out there, you ready to crucify yourself? So Jesus, he carried the cross, right? So they say. So this is pretty heavy. So this represents the pain and suffering in your life and the pain and suffering of the collective humanity. So let's build ourselves in light and love and strength, full body strength, and let's learn how to carry that load light as a feather. Because when we hold unconditional love in our hearts, joy, solace, serenity, you could have the world on your shoulders and it doesn't affect you. At least that's how I felt 3 weeks ago when I was in alignment. I wasn't winded like this and feeling like I was going to collapse already only after 50 strikes. Come on now. If I really were to be able to fight a full battle like my ancestors to survive and protect, we don't need to do that now. We're intellectual. We can fight with our minds and our hearts. There's really, all warfare is based upon deception. So do we really need to fight when we could just expose the enemy and spread truth? Unfortunately, yeah, sometimes good men have to die and good women. It's so sad. But we expand our own consciousness and our own heart, and we open up and we use our voice and we take back our sovereignty as a collective, as a country, and then as a unified collective planet. It's going to be really hard for tyrants to run people over.
It's waiting in your mind. Push them clouds aside. Ever by my side, be my golden sunshine. Reach for the sky. Reach for the sky. Forever in my mind, be my golden me, mama, walk with me now, baby. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Talk with me, mama, walk with me now. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Talk with me, mama, walk with me now, baby. Whoa, oh, 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 oh.
The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that some of you already know that it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. It was hard when just over 3 years ago in the Penobscot building in Detroit, Michigan, where I was operating my business, and I fell on some hard times, and I was sleeping in my office.
I tell you, I'm so exhausted. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself. I need to be easier on myself. I had light in my heart, and by not being so hard-hearted, I was able to feel the pain that I've been holding for years and finally face it instead of burying my emotions. And it brought me to my knees. But I breathed through it, and I'm able to hold all the trauma in the past in my mind all the time and it not debilitate me anymore. It's been a huge growth. So spiritual evolution, my goal this month is to come to this with really just a joyous relaxation, not so intense, military-like, just really chill. I've been going through a lot of intensity, and I'm carrying a lot of that energy that I experienced from being harassed and woken up in my van last night by the security, and I take full responsibility for returning his anger and rudeness at me, returning anger and rage at him. See, I lowered myself to his unhumanity, and if I would have just come to unconditional love, I could have moved. I may not have gotten to sleep on time. Well, maybe I would have. Maybe I would have woke up on time and I would have made it to work on time. So we can always blame somebody else for our circumstances, but at the end of the day, if we're aligned, energies and environments around us that are in a dissonance to truth and love, they can't affect us if we're at our strongest. And so that's what we need to do. And that's why this channel is about spiritual fitness, evolution, because you know, we need to evolve spiritually so that we can be strong and we can build and we can manifest and we can create the resonance that's in harmony with our greatest desires. And we can't let the world around us and our environments take us out of our peace and our love. So, brothers and sisters, you already know what it is. Let's get it.
It was hard coming into the lobby, and the security said, "Excuse me, Mr. Brown, can we see you for a moment?" And I said, "Yes." And I walked up to the counter, and he gave me an envelope. And he said, "Would you mind reading it here?" And I opened the envelope, and the envelope was from management that said, "This is an office tower. It's not a hotel. Please do not sleep in your office." And I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "I just work long hours in creating my business. I'm an entrepreneur. And right now things are bad for me. But they're not going to be this way always. And I just asked for the opportunity to continue to operate like I'm doing. I'm not trying to make this my home." And it was hard coming through the lobby. And sometimes they would laugh. There's a guy talking about becoming successful.
That's 100. Give yourselves a round of applause. Newcomers, like I said, disclaimer, start light. You're responsible for your own body autonomy. This took me 9 months to work up to. Listen to your body. Give yourself proper rest. Don't get pulled down into the trenches of despair like I did these last 3 weeks, because it'll take a lot of progress away from you. Keep consistent, stay hydrated. Your cell pH levels, C-E-L-L pH, keep your cell pH hydrated. Well, I got a gallon in the last 15 minutes. I think I was pretty dehydrated. If I was hydrated, I probably would have been able to knock that 100 out in a row. The only person that we're in competition with is ourselves, becoming the best version of ourselves. I like to show you what's possible because I know that there's people out there that will be able to do 75 pounds eventually. I weigh 165 pounds, so there's always someone bigger and stronger than you. So remember, we need to lay the ego to death, but we have to have pride and love in what we do, and we have to share that with an excitement. You know what I mean? There's a difference. So do what you love, do the best at what you can do, challenge people for fun, and make it fun. It's competitive. You know, we can all push each other to be our best version of ourselves, but the first thing that we should be focusing on is our spiritual state of being and our breath and our breathing and where our heart's at.
And look at him. He's bathing in the bathroom upstairs on the 21st floor. He sleeps on the floor. Him and 2 other dreamers up there. Look at him. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen, coming to speak to people. And I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. I was behind on my bills and my dreams, and I'm saying to them, you can live your dream. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen. It was very difficult to pick myself up each day believing that I could do it. There was times that I doubted myself. I said, God, why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my children and my mother. I'm not trying to steal or rob from anybody. Why did this have to happen to me? It was very hard. And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on, by continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream.
So I challenged Digitally Twisted Outlaws to the challenge. He had the 45-pound sharp sword. He was gonna cut 100 water bottles for the Guinness World Records. I challenged him, and then all of a sudden all the videos were down off his YouTube. So I'm actually kind of upset about that because I wasn't trying to intimidate, but I actually feel really hurt by that because I finally found somebody who had a bigger sword than I did that could potentially challenge me at 1,000 strikes with the 20-pound sword, with the 60-pound weighted vest, with the 2 20-pound ankle weights on each ankle, with the 2 2.5-pound wrist weights on each wrist, pulling behind the waist, the 100-pound sled. I still think I can do it. Not if I keep going through the emotional dissonance that I went through the last 3 weeks.
And then I found another YouTuber who's going for a Guinness World Records. He just started doing videos about a month ago on his 45-pound gut sword. This thing, I can load this thing up to 200 pounds. Probably never gonna get that heavy, but I might have to challenge him on, because he wants to set a Guinness World Records for cutting 100 water bottles. How fast he can cut 100 water bottles with a 45-pound sword.
His weapon was far too large to rightfully be called a sword.
Sometimes in life, you just have to make bad decisions. Sometimes those bad decisions revolve around, late nights partying. Other times those bad decisions revolve around carrying around a 45-pound sword. That's very dangerous. Let's choose the second one.
I'm going for the Guinness World Record. I hope 100 people break the record so then I could re-break the record and we can go back and forth, because I want as much free advertising as possible. Being honest, right? And it's fun, and I want people to see that anybody can do this. It looks like when I hand this to somebody that's a bodybuilder and they're like, I'm not gonna do that, I'll tear my shoulder out. You start low. It's like me. I can't bench press 500 pounds. I can't even probably bench press 200 because I don't bench press. But if I start low, if anybody starts low with these swords, they're gonna get a full functional workout. We have the ethos here at Spiritual Fitness Evolution of heart-centeredness, community unity, self-improvement, eating healthy, those 7 warrior principles that we talked about. And my goal is really for people to start their own community things in their location. It takes $500 to get 10,000 flyers. You hand those out on the doors and you'll have 300 people, 500 people, 200 people, and you're doing a monthly membership and you're training. And if you can teach the yoga, the qigong, the pranayama, the spiritual affirmations, that's really the franchise that I'm going to be building. So we want to create strong warriors in our society again. We want to create morality. We want to create people that stand up against tyranny, but through unconditional love. And we want to take our rights back. Actually, it's 5 o'clock. I might have to go on a walk. I forgot. All right, so I'm gonna end it. I think I did 125. I promised a friend to go hiking and I'm already late. I totally forgot. He just called me. But you know what? My body's telling me I should go on a hike anyway. I could do another 200, but I have to keep my promises. I have to be responsible in the eyes of my friends. So I'm not organized. That's why the business is not flourishing yet. So that's my self-responsibility. So today, there we go. We did 125. If you have a 5-pound sword, I push you to do 1,000. Do as many as you can do. And see you guys next time. Much love. Spiritual Fitness Evolution. We're out here. We did 125 strikes. I'm out here with my buddy Andrew. We're about to get it running. And we're gonna keep it balanced. Running is probably one of the best exercises that we could possibly do for ourselves. So we are gonna do that 1,000 strikes though with the 25-pound sword. Subscribe and stay tuned. And I'm bringing on another guy who has a YouTube channel and he's pretty cool. He's strong. He was able to swing the sword starting out at 25 pounds. So that's exciting. Our run in the Zero sandals. Look how dirty they got. Feet are filthy. My blister dried up and broke. So my feet were hurting after the run. There were big jagged rocks and I took them like a champ. And I'm only gonna get stronger. It's gonna be like free acupuncture or a free reflexology. So was gonna shoot for 333 strikes with the 25-pound sword, but you know, we cut it short, 125. I'm still super proud of myself and did about 4-mile run. So the barefooting, so thanks everybody. Until next time, much love. So this is how we treat the soles of our feet, our soul. This is how we treat the sole of our feet after running in those thingamabobbers. Yeah, we make sure all the meridians are taken real good care of. Oh yeah, look at that bunion horde.